All right, so while you guys are doing that, what I went ahead and did is I basically created the connections, utilizing the connections that are specified. So this is FA01 to FA01, and my connection between switch 1 and switch 2. FA02 to FA02, and my connection between switch 2 and switch 3. And gig00 to FA03 on my switch connection. I went ahead and did the same thing with the PCs using FA0, 11, 18, and 6 on switch 2, connected to the corresponding PC. Same thing over here, FA0, 11, 18, and 6. And then I went ahead and configured the IP addresses of each PC. So currently, right now, they're all in the same VLAN because we just did these switches out the box, haven't created any VLANs. So what the first thing we need to do is shut down all the unused interfaces on the switch. So what you basically do is, let's say we go here on switch 2 and do an interface range.
Config T.
Yes, sir. Interface range FA01. My job keeps texting me and I'm trying to do this. All right. Then we do a shutdown. So shut down all those interfaces. Obviously, we go ahead and configure the host name, DNS lookup, password, and all that. For the expedience of time, I'm not going to do that. So what this does, let me do end and do show interface status. Packet tracer. Did I tell you guys I love packet tracer? Well, anyway, in the real world, if you did show interface stat, oh, maybe if I could spell. All right, so it shows all these interfaces disabled. So the reason why you do that, obviously for security reasons, you want to have, let me move this over. So for security reasons, you want not somebody to just plug in to one of those native ports or use a interface that isn't being used currently. And then what you want to do, obviously, after you shut down, is re-enable those interfaces. So on switch 1, those interfaces would be interfaces 1, 2, and 3. So config T, int range FA0-1 through 3. Give me a fucking break. I'm sorry. That's just
What comes first?
yeah. They act like they don't understand it's a Saturday, but I digress. Oop, no shit. Like I say, that's why you guys gonna get paid the big bucks. All right. So as you can see, they're coming back up. So all of our interfaces are shut down on the switch except for the 3 we're using. Then what we're going to do is create the VLAN. So on switch 1, I'm going to go ahead and config T, and we're going to create our VLAN. So let me do this first. So if we look currently, if I could spell, right now we only have VLAN 1 created. So what we're going to do is create VLAN 10, and we're going to name it staff. then VLAN 20, and we're going to name that one student. And VLAN 30, and we're going to name that one guest. VLAN 99, and name that one management. So if I do a show VLAN, I have these VLANs here, but right now you see there are no ports assigned to them. So basically I need to do the same thing on the two other switches. So go to switch 1. Okay. While I'm waiting for that, let me go to switch 3.
That's the no IP domain lookup
Yes,
command
sure.
to disable it.
Enable config no IP domain dash lookup. All right. And VLAN 10 name. I'll forget the name again. Bring back staff. VLAN 20 name students. VLAN 30 name guest. And 99 show VLAN. Yep, same there. All right, cool. And where are we? This guy. All right. Same over here. So I'm at enable big T no IP domain. All right. VLAN 10 staff name VLAN 20 name VLAN 30 VLAN 99 and GMT name. All right, and show VLAN. All right, cool. So right now I have the names, obviously all the default VLAN, all the ports are in VLAN 10. So we just verified that added those to the thing. Now what we excuse me. So now what we want to do is start moving ports into these VLANs. So what I'm going to do here is on switch 2, I'm going to move ports 6 through 10 into VLAN 30, which would be this guy here. He's in port 6. So I would do a config T. I would do the interface range. So I'm going to do interface range FA0 FA0/6 through 10. All right. So I'm configuring all 4 of those ports or whatever, and I'm making the same change to that. So I'm going to use the command switch port. So whenever you're making a change, you're going to switch port and mode access. So these are all access ports, and then I'm going to just use switch port mode. Switch port access VLAN, and then I'm going to name it VLAN 30, or put it VLAN 30. If I do a do show VLAN brief, as you can see, all these ports are now in VLAN 30 and no longer VLAN 1. So I'm going to do the same thing with VLANs 10 and 20, right? So interface range FA0/11 through 17, switch port access, and this is going to be VLAN 10. And then for the last VLAN 20, I'm going to take the range of ports FA0 18 through 24, and then make those switch port access VLAN 20. And now when I do a show VLAN, I have these ports which are in VLAN 10, these ports which are in VLAN 20, and these ports which are in VLAN 30. Now I need to do the same thing over here. Interface range FA0 oh my god, switch port access VLAN 30. So now I'm gonna do the same thing with 11 through 17, put them in the VLAN 10. Switch access VLAN 10. And then do the same thing for ports 18 through 24. Interface range 18 through 24. All right, if I do a show VLAN, same, right? These ports here are in VLAN 10. Oh, excuse me. These ports here are in VLAN 10. These ports here are in VLAN 20. And these ports, oh, and 24, and these ports here are VLAN 30. All right, cool. So now we did that. So all right, so now we need to create a management VLAN, and that's so we can communicate between those three. So what I'll need to do is I'm going to create what they call SVI, or virtual switched interface. So to do that, I think somebody's hearing like, okay, cool. All right, so to do that, I need to create this. So I'm gonna go on enable. So on switch 1, I'm going to just create the interface. So I'm going to go into config T, and then I'm going to go ahead and create the interface. So interface VLAN 99. Then I'm gonna assign an IP address to it. So IP address 172.79.11.255.255.255.0. No shut. And then if I wanted to create the ability to telnet to it, and I'm also going to create an enable password too. Excuse me. I'm gonna go to switch 2, do the same thing. So where are we at? Let me go back to switch 1. I forgot to. So I'm just show interface VLAN 99. All right. Show run. That's not gonna let me do that. All right. It doesn't like show run. But if I did a show run, it would be there. All right, there it is. Ah, and it's assigned itself a MAC address. So right now it has that IP address.
It automatically assigns that MAC address.
Yep. All right, so let me do this, config T. Oop, didn't like the, ooh. So this one, I'm gonna make it 12. Line VTY 04, password Cisco, login. And do the same thing on switch 3.
Hey Karen, this is Tracy. I'm gonna have to log off because I gotta work tonight.
All right.
And I need to get some sleep.
Okay. We'll go through the lab.
I'm gonna go through the lab tonight, and if I have any questions, I'll reach out to you.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. You all have a good one, guys.
Have a good one.
All right. Have a
You
good
too,
one.
Tracy. Take care.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and just in case I want to tell that, I'm gonna add the enable password. All right, so now we have those created. So what we need to do now is we have the VLANs created, and right now we're probably pretty sure we can. Well, no, it's not gonna work. So right now we have VLANs created, right? So we have VLANs. So VLAN 10, and this host is on VLAN 10. These two hosts are on VLAN 20, and these two hosts are on VLAN 30. So let me ask you a question. Would I be able to ping from host 4?
Where?
Oh, sorry. No, I just got a message from my director. Cheapskates. So VLAN, both these two hosts are on VLAN 10. This one's on switch 3 and this one's on switch 2. Would I be able to ping from this PC1 to PC4?
Yes.
Let's see. Think so. Let's see. All right, desktop. Let me do
I don't know. Well, you made them all trunk. Well, sorry.
There you go.
I didn't see that part. I've already configured the lab, so I'm just. I don't know. I didn't see what you had configured, so I apologize.
All right. So, oops. What is that? Cut and paste will get you every time.
I didn't see if you had already created. I saw you set up your PCs, but I wasn't sure if you created your trunk ports and stuff yet.
No, I did not create trunk ports, and
Okay,
that's
well,
why
no.
it will not work. So
Yeah,
what
I'm
we need to
sorry.
do now is create trunks. So to do that, I will have to go to each one of the switches and create trunks. So we were talking about DTP. So let's go over here. So let me do this. Get rid of you. Bring up switch 1, and let me bring up switch 2. Can I do them both at the same time? Do this. Bring this one smaller. I just installed this new packet tracer. I don't know if it's gonna let me do them both at the same. Okay, there we go.
What version is that? 7.23.
Let me see. It takes up the whole screen now. I will admit that. Dang on it. I think it would. I just downloaded it like a couple of days ago. So.
Okay. I think it's 7.3 if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I couldn't remember.
I was
3
a
or
little
4.
afraid to upgrade it because I was reading some reviews on it about some of the functions or whatever. But I see that you're
So we know on switch 3. Interface range FA0 1 through 3. So we know 1 through 3. I guess I gotta be in config mode. So INT switch port. All right, so you see, so trunks come up here, and then I need to do switch port. Now I'm going to start getting errors. So I'm going to do switch port mode. Excuse me, So now I'm going to create my native VLAN. So by default, our native VLAN is what?
Switch port. That's still right.
All right, so by default, what's our native VLAN?
1.
1.
Right, so on this side, I'm going to change it to 99 and no shut. It should not be shut anyway, but anyway. All right, and then I'm going to get errors here, see, inconsistent local VLAN. So on here, I got to go. All right, so config T interface FA0/1 switch mode trunk switch trunk native VLAN 99 shut, then undo a no shut. And then if I do a show interface trunk, I will see that I have a connection. These VLANs are allowed. It's only actively sending traffic over these VLANs. Why is that? Because those are only VLANs we have created. And then
that 99.
and then our native VLAN is 99. And then I need to do the same thing on switch 3, because right now he's getting inconsistent VLAN. So I need to go into T interface FA0/2 switch port mode trunk. I don't need to do that because it's already DTP is already made it a trunk, but anyway, and then switch port trunk Nate VLAN 99 shut no shut up show int trunk. All right, cool. So now let me go back here. So now let me minimize all these guys. So now we have trunks. Obviously, what's going on here is our spanning tree. So it's still going through convergence. But anyway, we have trunks here. We have a trunk created on this interface. And we have a trunk created here. So as you see, it's all green. So let me go back to PC1. And before, it was not able to ping its counterpart of PC4. Well, let's try it again. And it works. All right, so I'm able to ping from PC1 to PC1, which is connected to switch 2, through switch 3 down through switch 1 down to switch 3 to PC4. So that worked. Can PC1 ping PC5? Any guesses?
What was your question? Can PC1 ping 5?
Yeah.
What VLAN is 5 on?
No, VLAN is on VLAN 30. No, you got to do the
VLAN 20. Yep. So no.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 20. Sorry.
Right. So since it cannot, what do we need to do?
And get your router involved.
Exactly. So let's go here. So if I'm on, let me check this out. So I'm gonna go to switch 1, and now let's see if our interface VLAN 99 came up, and it's up. Can I ping? And I'm gonna see if I can ping the other two. So I could ping switch 1. Can I ping switch 2? Let's see. Okay, I can ping switch 2, no problem. Now let's see if we can ping switch 3. So if I did a telnet to password Cisco, I'm in switch 3. All right, cool. So since we can't go between them, we're gonna have to do a router on a stick, right? So right now, I have this trunk created here, but I don't have it created on the router. So what I have to do is go into the router, enable, config T, and show int GI.
Good.
All right, so it's down. So I have to go ahead and config T, interface 0/0, and then do a no shut. All right, and as you see, it came up. So what I have to do is create what we call a sub interface, right? So sub interface means you can use multiple interfaces on a particular interface. So what I'm going to do is interface GI0/0, and usually what I use is whatever the VLAN is. So in this place I'm going to use .10, and as you can see, it's created a sub interface. So I'm going to use the encapsulation. And what type of encapsulation am I going to use?
8021.q.
Yep, 8021. 802.
802.1q, sorry.
Yep. And for the router, it just calls it .1q. And then I put in, after that, what VLAN I'm going to use. So for this one, it's going to be VLAN 10. And then I put in the IP address, which is basically going to be your gateway IP address, which is 172.17.10.1, 255.255.255.0. All right. I do the same thing for interface 20. You're not supposed to do this, but just to speed things up, I'm going to do it this way.
Why aren't you supposed to do it?
Because I want you guys to get the repetition of typing in the command. So when you actually do type the commands, it's second nature to you. 30. Oop, got to do the end cap. I didn't do the end cap. And just for grins, I'm gonna do 99. All right. So now that we've created the sub interfaces, let me do a show IP route. All right. So this is our routing table. So whenever a packet hits our router, it's going to say, all right, for this network, I'm going to send it out this interface. And for this network, I'm going to send it out this interface. This network goes out this interface. And why do I not have one for 30? All right, so now I have routes to all 4 of these networks, right? So if I were PC1, and let me make this smaller. Oh, you suck. Anyway, you suck. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm not liking this as much as I like the other one. All right, so I'm on PC1 and I want to ping. Let's see if I can ping my neighbor, PC2. So that would be 172.17.20 for VLAN 20 and 22. So it's got to leave me, go up into switch 2, down to the router, and there we go. So it's able to ping 2. Can it ping 5, which is also on VLAN 20? I can ping 5 as well. So we know we could ping 4 because you're on the same VLAN. Let's see if we can ping PC3. PC3, which is 30.23, is in VLAN 3. All right. And then we'll go ahead and go to PC6. It's taking a little bit longer, but so now we can not only switch between all 3 switches, traverse all of the trunks, but we can also ping as well.
Hey, Kevin,
Yes, ma'am.
where'd you find all this? Like, where'd you find the labs from?
Google is my friend. So
Yeah,
just
I found some, but I really like the extensive this one. I even found this one too, but I couldn't find any more like it. Because like I like, once you do a lab, I like to do several of them. I don't like to just do one,
yeah, I've been trying to put a lab book together of just that way I could just send it out and we say, oh, let's go to lab 3, lab 4, lab 5. I just been too lazy to actually finish it. And the one I was working on was based on the old test, so now it's a new test. So
Yeah.
I'm a
Because
little
what would
bit.
also be cool is if we could, configure this type of stuff with with the 3560 since they're able to route. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep. I'm not sure that layer 3 trunking is. I'm pretty positive layer 3 switching is covered on the test. So, but I If you guys send me an email, remind me. I may have some old lab books that has this lab and a couple others that you guys feel you want to go through them. Go through them. My suggestion, I suggest build this lab out, go through all the steps, read, bump your head, figure out, troubleshoot, and go from there. And this will get you familiar with switching. I tell people all the time, people focus mostly on routing, but my day to day is dealing with switches because I
Switching, okay.
have my router may have 3 interfaces and I only deal with the stuff on those 3 interfaces. But you know, I in my office I got a 6 stack of switches, 48 ports each. So whenever somebody comes with a new device or has an issue, like talked about Treasy with the them coming with the wrong MAC address or whatever, you know, I do more configuration on the switches on a day to day than on the routers. You know, once you have a route set and you have your dynamic routing protocol, that usually takes care of itself. Most of your add moves and changes are going to be on your switches because your switches have more devices connected to them. So definitely understand switching concepts, understand trunking, and understand this router on a stick. A lot of interview questions come from that, and when we cover spanning tree.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
I think that is great. I love it, you know. But once I finished it, I was like, man, I want to do another one. So I was trying to think about. I actually thought about creating my own, you know, like I said with the 3560s, but